So let's just start this off. You could just tell me, give me your name and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Anne-Marie Hodges. I'm from Wilson, North Carolina. I am 38 years old, and I am a retired registered nurse. I became disabled in 2001 and haven't been able to work as a registered nurse since then. But that was my heart, that was my soul. So
You really liked nursing,
I loved it. I loved it. The harder it was, the better I liked it.
so it wasn't an easy thing for you to have to walk away from because
Not
of
at
your
all.
illness.
Not at all.
Could you tell me a little bit about your illness?
Sure. I was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease called adult onset Still's disease. I was one of 5 people in the state of Virginia with that diagnosis. I went for a second opinion at Johns Hopkins University, and they were kind of inconclusive. They knew I had something that was autoimmune, but they weren't willing to give it that label. Basically, what adult onset Still's disease is a very rapid onset rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And being autoimmune in nature, the body self-destructs, and that's exactly what's happening to me. As a result, I have degenerative joint disease in both of my knees. They need to be replaced at 38. I have it in both of my hips. They need to be replaced at 38. It's settled in my lower back. I've had 2 back surgeries thus far. I now have what is considered a failed back. I am herniated again at L3-4 and torn. My disc is torn. L4-5, it's bulging and herniated again. And L5-S1 is bone on bone. The word in the MRI was obliterated. So I've been through many different things, many different types of treatment. I went through chemotherapy to try to kill the extra white cells to slow the progression down.
What was that?
Oh, it was terrible. All it did was make me terribly ill and my hair fall out. It was a very hard time period in life. The chemo was. It's very hard. But nothing that they tried stopped it. And here I am at 38, and I don't know what life holds for me. All I'm looking for right now is quality. I'd love to be able to go back to work. I'm up for a 3rd spinal surgery here at Duke University, and I'm praying that that will work and it will hold. What else can I tell you? I have a lot of different things. I have fibromyalgia. I have myofascial pain syndrome. I have chronic pain syndrome. I live with pain every day, all the time. I had a doctor in Virginia, the state that I moved from, and he was trying to manage my pain. He had me on 6 class 2 narcotics a day, along with muscle relaxers and my choice of sleeping pill at night. After my 2nd back surgery, he got busted for overprescribing. So I came through the last back surgery with no help.
Because he got busted,
Correct.
You didn't get any medication.
Correct. And I was brought up to where, marijuana, cannabis, was something that was demonized. And I never smoked it as a kid. The first time I ever touched it is when I was 33 years old, when I had enough, and I was coming off of all of those medications, and everybody said that I was going to die.
Your first experience with cannabis is to help you with your...
Withdrawal. Off of all of those controlled substances. By all rights, medically speaking, I should not be sitting here. When you withdraw off of OxyContin, 80 milligrams twice a day, and morphine sulfate 130 milligrams once a day, and Percocet 10 milligrams every 4 hours if you need it, and Dilaudid 8 milligrams every 4 hours if you need it, and 30 milligrams of Valium a day, Flexeril, Roboxin, and sleeping pills all at one time. That usually equals respiratory cardiac arrest and death. And cannabis stopped that.
It did.
It did. The pain was excruciating, and I had a religious hang up about smoking cannabis, and all I needed to do was see the first chapter of Genesis, where it says that God gave forth all seed-bearing plant. And the first day that I smoked, I felt like I was free again.
Really?
I did. I absolutely, I remember sitting there on the bed and sobbing with happiness.
Tell me what it was like.
My pain went, my spirit lifted. I felt like maybe there was a glimmer of hope, because in my eyes there was no hope. They told me I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 40. It was very, very difficult. Of course, depression, it helped my mood. But the most important thing was that it freed me from the grips of a pain that I cannot even describe to you. I've had 6 major surgeries in the last 8 years. Surgical pain is nothing.
You've had a wealth of pharmaceuticals available to you. I mean, you've had all these different drugs.
Yes.
And you're telling me that with all these different drugs, none of those things could do for you what cannabis could?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, how can that be? I mean, we're talking drugs here that were approved by the FDA.
The FDA, as we all know, their clinical trials are not very thorough. The side effects from these medications are terrible. My thyroid shut down for a while because of all of the medication. My liver enzymes elevated because of all of the medication. I was a physical mess after I took all of those medications. And now, since using cannabis, I could get by and have a good quality of life with just using one thing, and that would be for them to re-legalize cannabis.
So you believe that it could replace all your pharmaceuticals?
I do. I do.
We're talking some serious illness there.
Yeah.
Very serious stuff.
Granted, I'd probably have to consume cannabis quite a bit to keep my level of pain down, but if the government would bring it back and make it legal, then I'd be okay.
Means a bit more to you too, because you want to be able to go back to work.
You bet.
And with drug testing and such and all that, that's kind of a difficult thing to do.
It's very difficult. There comes a time in life when you have to decide, unfortunately, with this government of ours, which road you're going to take. I've been down the right road with taking my narcotics like I was supposed to and passing my urine screens. And then I decided to take the road with cannabis, and I'll tell you what happened. A local pain clinic here, I went to them because I was trying to get someone involved with my back again, because it had gotten to a point I couldn't take it anymore. I tested positive for THC. I called them back a few months later, and I asked if I could come back. They said absolutely not.
Why?
They said that you must have consumed THC. You cannot get that from being around someone who smoked it. So we know that you consumed it, and that means you would not be a compliant patient.
What does that have to do with your injury, your illness? How's that affect that? I mean, the fact is that you're chronically ill.
I'm chronically ill, and I'm stuck